Hello and welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Kerch Strait with UATV. On September 7th, Ukraine and Russia exchanged 35 prisoners in a long-awaited swap, as a result of which 24 Ukrainian sailors who were captured by Russian special forces near the Kerch Strait in November 2018 and 11 political prisoners returned to Ukraine. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky said it was of great importance for the normalization and improvement of bilateral relations, calling it a first step in ending the war in Donbas. So, what does Ukraine-Russia prisoner swap mean in geopolitical terms? To discuss this, we're joined in the studio today by Oleksandr Musienko, head of the Center for Military and Law Research. There's been a lot of excitement the past few days about what's happened. I think it's time to take a step back now and talk about what it really means. You have some opinions. You said it's obviously good that Ukraine has brought back 35 of its citizens, but the political game has just started, in your words. What do you mean by that?
Yes, let me explain. I suppose that this exchange was possible because later, a few weeks later, in France, between French President Macron and the Russian President Putin, was agreed about some agreement that will be good to, as you know, President of France told a few times that there is no great and big Europe without Russia, and there is no possibilities to build a future for the Europe without Russia. He told that the big Europe could be possible only with Russia from Lisbon to Vladivostok and so on. And the main obstacle for this is the Russian-Ukrainian war, is the annexation of Crimea. And they decided to go on of this obstacle and agreed of the first step to the normalization of the relations between Europe and Russia need to be to release and to exchange of prisoners, and they decided to do this. And Ukraine, and for us it's very important because for their relatives, for families of our prisoners, political prisoners, war prisoners, it's a big happiness to meet their relatives in the airport. It was important, and they, I mean, Mr. Macron and Mr. Putin chose this scenario like the first step for the warming relationship between Europe and Russia Federation.
Isn't there a lot that needs to be done for the relationship really to warm up, considering the water that's flown under the bridge? It's interesting that you would say France is having such a huge role in this negotiation,
yes,
when the Netherlands were also very interested in how the prisoner exchange would have worked out. Could you explain the Netherlands' role also in this?
I think the Netherlands, it's all about the case of Țemeș, yes, and it's all about this because the Netherlands wanted to, they wanted that Țemeș was tried in the court process, which will start, on the March of 2020, sorry. And of course, when Ukraine said that we shall extradite him to Russia, they had argued because of this, because they told how you can do this for the person who who need to be accusation for the who one of these who gotta be accusation for the shutdown of the plane MH17. Yes, and I think it will be some problem to Ukraine in the future.
There seems to be a division in the media narrative around the prisoner exchange. Some people are hailing this as a victory for both Putin and Zelensky. Some people are saying, especially domestically, Volodymyr Zelensky has done very well for himself. But Western Europe, the media is talking about how he may have given up too much Zelensky. Your opinion on this?
I agree that domestically, politically, it's very good for President Zelensky because when your citizens came back from the prison of another country, of the country aggressor, it's good. But I think for Putin, it's the most simple what he could do at all. Because look, if we are talking about our war prisoners, yes, our servicemen, sailors, 24 men, as you know, Russia had obligation to release them, ordered the tribunal of the Sea of the Law.
That's an important point. We exchanged 35 for 35,
yes,
but 24 of the Ukrainians should have already been released. So didn't Vladimir Putin come out ahead on this one?
I think, and more than that, Putin had took Tsemach to Russia. The main witness. There are 4 men, according to the joint investigation team in the Netherlands, who could be accused for the shutdown of the MH17, and every one of them is in Russia. And Semach right now, he is went in Russia, and that's a problem. And Putin take him, and also he. Did like the order of the tribunal said. He released Ukrainian servicemen, and he took the main witness of the catastrophe of the shutdown MH17.
What about the argument that the fact that Vladimir Putin demanded Semach is probably the strongest piece of evidence that he was involved? Has Putin heard his own arguments by demanding Semach?
I think that how Russia insisted on the factual extradition of Semach, it's also a fact that their need to be accused for this catastrophe, for this crime, because they took Tsemach, they want to hide him, and why you did it? Why he is so important for you? If he didn't any crimes. Why?
Let's take a look at the legal side of this. Now, a Ukrainian citizen, Semach, is in the custody of the Kremlin. The Netherlands has already put in a request for an extradition. What's the legal basis? Does Russia extradite to the EU?
The problem is that Ukraine didn't stop the accusation of Semach, and we just released him for personal obligation. The court released him for personal obligation, and he went abroad and he went to Russia. So it's a problem. What will be with Ukrainian accusation? What will be with Ukrainian trial then? Because Tsemach went abroad, and but accusation and the trial gonna be for him, and that's a problem. And I don't think that Russia will extradite Tsemach to Netherlands. They will hide him like hide another one man who Netherlands had asked to extradite.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. We'll be watching the situation because, as happy as we are that the 35 political prisoners and prisoners of war are back, there is going to be political consequences for this exchange. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Oleksandr Musienko, head of the Center for Military and Law Research. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned with UATV for more.